Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Our beer fest is November 18th. It starts around noon. That's when we start giving out the sample cups and wristbands.
Yeah, you're going to want to get there a little early because there will be people lining up. And just bring a photo ID. Yeah. You must be 21 years of age to try all of the delicious 40-plus beers that we will have on site.
Yep.
But yeah, get there a little early.
And not only will you get a sample cup, but you'll get a gift bag filled with different
There they are. I put them on the camera. There they are. There are the gift bags right there.
You get Tom and Dan sunglasses. Mo DeWitt's got a gift in there for you.
Yeah, he does.
White Claw's got a gift in there for you.
Fairvilla has a gift in there for you. Yeah. Hollowbox has a gift in there
Modern
for you.
Modern Plumbing has a chip clip that are very popular. I loaded in hundreds of them.
Can we talk about the Modern Plumbing chip clip? I have a bone to pick with a lot of our helpers that were pocketing chip clips.
That I told them I said they could take whatever they
wanted. They were filling their pockets.
You know how bad I
clips.
felt from the volunteers that helped us?
They all left because they're like, we have to go get our children. And then like, it's early release. And they all left and you only bought lunch for Simone. Well, that's it. Me and Eric don't count. Me and Eric don't count.
I'm going to send them an edible arrangement.
An edible arrangement. I don't want your pineapple fruit. I'll throw that crap in the trash. I want cold hard cash. Cold hard.
By the way, we only chose women to help us, and that was a great decision.
It was great. You know what I noticed, though? They all hugged me, like distanced themselves from hugging me, like really hugging me.
Well, they're afraid of us.
Yeah, they are afraid of us. I never got one real hug. It was always the hug where
you put your genitals back.
They put their arm around me, and then they lean forward as if they're stretching their back, and I'm like, come on, press them against me. Let's do it. Let's go.
I lean
I know. You push them forward.
I boof my genitals forward.
Yeah, you do.
And
so they can't escape it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
Anyway, that is November 18th. Then sofa races the next day, November 19th.
Yeah, stay for the sofa races.
It's Booze Fest weekend.
It is.
So on the line with us, I feel like we haven't talked to this gentleman in a while.
Yeah, we haven't talked to him in so long that I actually misplaced his intro. I took it off the board because I was like, I don't think we're going to talk to this guy
I think he's done. I think he's done.
And I do that with my desktop here at the studio. If we haven't used something in a minute, Business Baby, your song, lost. Business Bro, your song, lost.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all of them gone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the head that we've done that we done.
Kristrima?
Yeah. I took that off there. I took Kristrima off there. Anything that had to do with pedophile Chris, I've been burying that. I've been burying that.
There was a time where people thought that was funny.
The molester wrestler, I buried that.
There was a time that people thought that was funny, and then it was a hard stop.
In 2014, 2015, you guys were all on board, and then you're like, wait a minute, we can't do this.
It's like
no more comedy.
All of a sudden, 2016, hard stance against pedophiles. They're like, what? Who is this?
You know what? We do need to save the children.
And we're like, all right.
Okay, we'll kick him out of the group.
Canadian Joss is on the line. How you doing?
Only one step better than pedophile Chris.
How you doing, Josh?
That's my new intro. Canadian Josh, better than pedophile Chris. Yeah, I'm back. Just when I thought I was out, I'm back in, coming to you live from the Arctic of Canada. Canadian Josh segment brought to you by Injured on the Go, Just Call Mo. JustCallMo.com. And Mo does play into this because as per Mo's request, and Daniel, you can bring up the visual of the text message from Mo.
Okay.
He wanted my segment back. So here we are, baby. Brought to you by JustCallMo.com.
Yeah, this is true. I'll put this up. Here's the first message. This is from our attorney, Mo DeWitt.
Okay.
Who basically, Canadian Josh, first of all, Josh, don't ever contact our clients without checking with us first.
You know how much damage you could have done?
Literally spiral this thing out of control.
I don't need Mo realizing who listens to the show or who
some crazy Canadian. Hey, what do you think of me?
Yeah. Also,
I don't do damage. I only do good.
Well, you can't even use Mo. Canadian law doesn't apply to American law.
I don't even know if you guys
I'll use them. I will use them.
No, you can't. There's no lawsuits in Canada.
Don't let you do that.
It's all free healthcare.
Yeah, you guys are socialists up there.
Yeah. There's no lawsuits. You got to stand in the gruel lines. My pop-up told me.
But Mo did say at the end of this message that you can see on YouTube and Twitch, just search Tom and Dan Live. It says, that's awesome. They need to bring back your segment. Stay warm, my friend.
Well,
now we got a client dictating the content on our show. He said they need to bring it back. This is exactly what happened at Real Radio. You got every client pulling the strings there. We can't be our true selves because we're going to steer the boat where the clients aren't. We can't hit the client iceberg, for Christ's sake.
No, that's just an auto reply. He's got AI doing his
cell
phone replies.
I think this was Fowler. I think it was Fowler.
Okay, or Bus Decker.
It could have been Bus.
So
Bus is wearing bow ties now.
Josh, are you really someplace in the far north?
I am literally in the Arctic. And hey, in a bit, I'll stay close to my Starlink modem. When you guys want to go out on the tundra, like it's always the Canadian joke, the frozen tundra, but I am literally on the Arctic tundra, and I can get suited up here, and we can go out on the tundra if you want.
Yeah, and look what he did. Here's the other photos I have. Here's one where this is at the Arctic Ocean. He put a Mo magnet and a Tom and Dan magnet. You can see
on the
side. Does that do anything? Does that move the needle?
Yeah, it moves the needle. It absolutely moves the needle, dude. Absolutely. That's how you get discovered.
No one's seeing it.
That's how you get discovered.
Also, you're littering at a sign of the Arctic Ocean.
Well, the sign is technically litter, right? The sign shouldn't be there either, but we're part of the sign. We're fine.
Yeah,
if you're part of the sign, you're totally fine.
Like, who's up there to even see that, Josh? Why are you even there?
I am here for work, as you guys know, and I think I'm actually going to be doing a weird job. I talked to Sam about it next month as it pertains to my job, so we won't get too deep into that.
God, we're just recycling all of it. Oh, and then I guess the week after that, we'll be calling pedophile Chris for a weird job. What is happening around this place? The whole place is falling apart. This is what happened when I lose control of it. I've lost control. I took a step back, and I started concentrating on my dog and concentrating on my scooter and playing video games and having fun. And you were right the whole time, Tom. Get to work. Should have been getting to work the whole time.
So, Josh, explain to me how far north are you? Because when you say...
I have a map.
When you say the Arctic, I imagine...
and actually, Dan, if you just want to bring up maps or something like that, if you look up the village of Tuktoyaktuk, it's a really fun name to say, Tom. It's Tuktoyaktuk, Tuktoy, something like that. Just start typing in Tuk, Dan, in the Canadian Arctic.
So I'm
still working as a paramedic.
Tuktoyaktuk sounds like a guy who had one, and then he tucked it, and then it started looking gross, right? It was like he tucked, but then he yuck-tucked, which is gross tucking. Okay, here it is, Tuktoyaktuk. I'm going to put this up so everybody can see it.
Are there...
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, there is Tuktoyaktuk.
Are there E-words up there?
Tom, that is funny you mentioned. So I always used to cringe when you guys would use the I word for natives. And yeah, they spell the I. And now I've talked to a few of them about it. It's not... the reason they don't like the word is because the word, and I'll just say it, sorry, apologies, but I
don't say it. We said it. I said it last night to Andrew. I was like, Eskimo kisses, and we were doing our noses.
There it is.
And she was like, it's Inuit kisses.
They're not big fans of it. It's it's not equivalent to like the N word or anything like that. But the word Eskimo was given to the Inuit people by another tribe of natives further south of here, and it basically means the people who eat raw fish. So it's kind of like those people up there who eat raw fish is roughly what it translates to. So
but
they didn't give themselves that name. It was given to them by another native tribe, so that's why it's kind of, let's stop saying that.
Gotcha.
So how cold is it right now where you standing?
I just checked the temperature with the wind chill. It is -6 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is Fahrenheit. I did convert it for you guys.
Wow, man. Thank you, Josh. You're doing a lot of work today.
Well,
it's been a while. I had to make up,
Yeah, you're crushing it, dude. I appreciate it.
So I know we haven't talked to you in a while. Is it because you have this new job and you're now like so far north?
Or did you freak out and leave your family?
No, I don't know. I guess I just, like everybody, I got bored of it and said, what do I have to say? Because honestly, I think the most contribution I've been making lately, Tom, I think you lurk in the shadows and monitor the Tom Van Club. I am like top admin on Tom Van Club with all the wonderful quotes. You have so many quotes, buddy. You are a treasure trove of quotes.
Here's the problem. When you put too many quotes, you devalue the quote. And then
now it just looks like a place people go to see stupid phrases.
Yeah. It can't be like now they're just picking up anything I say and making it a quote. Yeah. And then
like Honey Boo Boo is funny in doses, but when you're like when you're living in the trailer by the railroad tracks, it's sad. It becomes very sad and depressing.
Yeah, and I kind of polled the group because it's like you just lately, Tom. I don't know if it's just me. You've been on fire lately. I don't know if you've been up in the dose of Adderall, but I even asked the people in the group. I'm like, too many. Like I literally was posting half of the ones I thought were postable, but I kind of asked the group, "Do you guys want me to ease up here? Is this too much?" And the overwhelming majority was like, "No, keep them coming. People like to get high and read your quotes, Tom." I don't know.
You know, one of the biggest things that people do, and tuck to yuck tuck. Did I say that right?
You did, yeah. Tuck
Okay.
to yuck tuck is kind of. You just say tuck.
One of the biggest things they do in tuck is reindeer herding.
All right.
Are you going to be there a while? Can you get us an interview with a reindeer? Like, can you get one?
I can't get you an interview with a reindeer. I can get you an interview with the mayor of Tuck to Yuck Tuck, and he was kind enough to invite myself and
Is
some
he
other,
a reindeer?
The white folks up here.
Yeah, that would be fun.
And I got to eat everything that they ate up here, including whale.
Whoa, you've eaten a whale? I ate a whale one night at T's and Q's. She was clingy. She was so clingy. Oh, my God. She'd call it. It's the only time I had to change my cell phone number. I'm like, get out of here, whale.
So what did the whale taste like, Josh?
The best way I can
Clean.
describe whale meat is just picture, it's like a piece of, it's mainly the fat part they eat.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just picture like pork belly.
Yep.
But no salt flavor, no smokiness, just pork belly with a mild seafood taste.
Yep.
So
And then
essentially eating a chunk of fat.
stole my monster dog tag. Yep. Slight seafood taste.
So is it like a?
Is it tough to chew, or does it taste sort of like pork belly? Like, you know, when you go to like a nice barbecue restaurant and they give you that pork belly and you eat it and it sort of melts in your mouth, you know, the gelatinous part kind of. A lot of people don't like that. You know, I had to be an adult before I found, and still I don't eat a lot of that because I don't have a gallbladder. But is it like that?
Yeah, a little bit tougher because they eat it raw. They literally they slice it up and they eat it raw. And before I get to hate, they've been eating whales up here since long before Whitey came along. They do it in a very sustainable manner. They harvest like 30 whales, and it's subsistence living. Like that's what the people up here eat, you know. So like Tom, I can't imagine when Tom goes home and tells his wife he talked to somebody today that ate a whale, but it's done in a sustainable way for their subsistence lifestyle. So before I get, the Greenpeace crowd coming after me.
I think
Josh.
for a minute I was whale only. Like back in my late 20s, I was a whale hunter, some would say.
Also, Josh, most of our audience is in Florida. We don't care about whales.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
You know, like,
I mean, I don't like the whaling though. When I can't watch the videos, like the ones where like you see the Japanese boat pull up and then they're like, oh, there's a whale, and then all of a sudden they're just like, they're just going crazy on it, and it's the whole sea turns to like a bloodbath. I'm like, all right, I can't watch that. No need to do that.
That's right.
You don't need to do that. Go get a McDouble. Go get a McDouble.
So Josh, first off, it's amazing that we're able to have a conversation with Josh and nothing's broken up yet. He's in the Arctic circle.
He has better audio than most comedians we talk to.
That's crazy.
I have a cell phone conversation with my wife, and she's sitting at home.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hello, what?
Yeah,
and then she gets mad at me. She's like, I'm done with this.
We couldn't talk to Keenan Ivory Wayans because the cell phone couldn't connect. But this,
He's
we can
in
do
LA.
this. Yeah, he's in LA, and it just didn't reschedule, never happened. But we can get you on a Starlink, and look, the quality, and we're doing video. We're not just doing a call.
I know.
We're doing a video.
So
Do you guys want to go outside and see if we can break it?
Yeah.
Okay, talk amongst yourselves. I got to get geared up here. Just one second. Talk amongst yourselves.
So he's got.
I already got a bunch of layers on.
Okay, we'll watch.
It's like Under Armour, long underwear, t-shirt, sweater. So this thing here, the neck sweater thing, very important. Any exposed skin. And of course, we're gonna put on. Canadians call these hats a toque.
A toque.
Well, hold on, Josh. I mean, you could go outside with your shirt off for a little bit, right?
For like 1 minute.
I've seen Wim Hof climb Everest with no shirt.
He's like an old bum. He does look like an old bum.
No, I'm saying, like, you can.
It's hard to take that guy seriously.
You don't have to cover up every inch of skin. It's -6.
Oh,
it's
wow,
not,
look at him. Oh, you got the orange jacket.
I'm a
on.
P word. I'm a P word, Tom. I have to.
Well, you know I hate the cold. I'd have to be in more
I'll
than
stay
Josh.
somewhat close. I'll stay somewhat close to the modem here.
What?
I mean, we're coming live from the back of an ambulance too, by the way.
Oh,
Anyway.
wow.
So
That's so morbid.
you're in the ambulance and you're at a basically you're a paramedic for
Roughnecks.
Yeah, people that drill for oil, right?
It's a gas project. So anyway, I'll pan out here for you guys. So the Arctic tundra, that's what it looks like. Literally
nice.
just rolling hills and scrub brush. You will not see a tree anywhere up here. We are above the tree line, as they call it.
Well,
And
what are
just
you
on the
doing? You
little
just
bit of
drive
video-
out in the middle of a field and you're just sitting there killing time? Like, what are you doing out there?
You guys see that? You guys see a snowmobile going? I don't know if you can see him in the
I
distance
can.
there.
Yeah, I see him.
That is the mayor of Tuktoyaktuk.
Oh, is he coming to get you? Like, what is he? Is he coming towards you like Slender Man?
Oh, what if he guns you down?
Oh, my
On
God.
our Twitch feed.
Yeah.
We'll leave it.
Yeah, we would leave
He
it.
probably could. Yeah, he's the mayor and the wildlife monitor. So there is a very large caribou herd in the area. So he's just keeping an eye on that to make sure it's not coming too near us.
Well, what would he do?
Scared
You know,
away with a snowmobile?
No, we would all have to take off. We got to get out of the way if they're coming through.
Why? You just stay in the ambulance. Let him stomp it flat.
Yeah, no, Daniel does bring up a good point. You're just parked in the middle of nowhere. So what are you
A lot
actually?
of work getting done.
What are you actually doing? I thought you had to be like near the oil drilling or the gas
Yeah,
project.
like the way I see it, if somebody got hurt and where
Yeah.
you're in the middle of the field,
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
be dead by the time you get to them.
No, it is here. It's like we're up. It's like half a mile down that road is where they're at, where the actual the well is. They found gas here, like a mother lode of natural gas.
Ooh.
So it just goes to show, if we need natural gas, we'll go anywhere to get it. And
Huh.
To duck, duck you, duck, you, duck.
So Josh, what do you do when you're up there for fun and
I
all?
know what he does.
Like,
I know what he does.
Like, because you have to be indoors, like, 90% of your day, right?
yeah, you got to stay inside for most of the time. And it, like with the Starlink, I can always do training courses and watch videos and binge, like you name it, I'm binging it. Watch you guys on Twitch.
So you're doing
That
nothing.
sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
So
When are you done? Like, is this like an assignment and you're there for months, or is this your new gig?
No, I'm on a rotation. I do 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but 3 straight.
Inside because I don't want my phone to freeze up. Yeah, it's a good rotation. I mean, and when I'm home, it's nothing. Like no work, nothing. It's pretty relaxed.
That's great. I would love a month on, like, if we had that here, a month of recording, and then
a
we
month
get
off,
done, and then I just, like, I'd never come back.
yeah. But also it's I feel like that's the worst part is you get used to both. Well, at least like the month off or the 3 weeks off, like 2.5 weeks in, you don't want to go, but you're like dreading the 3 weeks because you just been off for 2 weeks. I mean, at least
Those last 2 days are horrible
Yeah.
because you're like, I don't want to do anything.
it's like you go on a vacation for a week and then coming back to work is way hard. So I can't imagine 3 weeks, or maybe you're like, I'm ready to go back. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm also learning Italian. I wanted to come down next month or this month for the Bada Beer Fest on November 18th, but my wife wants to go to Italy, so it was like Sistine Chapel, Fun Spot, USA. So I'm brushing up on my Italian.
The 16th chapel, whatever the hell.
16. It's not the 16th.
There's a quote.
The 16. Oh, God. You're giving him one. Now you're just doing it. See, like I told you, it's all fabricated fake
It's
now.
not going to be that impressive, Josh.
No,
I've
it's
seen
not.
all that stuff before. The cathedrals, I've been to the Palace of Versailles, and you're looking around, and you're like, all right.
I think the Versailles we have in Orlando, far more impressive. Far more impressive.
Yeah. With the seagulls.
Yeah.
So, Josh, anything else? You got any topics for your bit today? Or?
Yeah, how are we for time?
We're good.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. How many countries does Canada border?
Well, okay. So I'm gonna go U.S. first because I know
Nailed
that
it.
they
Nailed it.
And then I'm going to guess Well, okay.
I'm going to say 1 because that's the only one I know.
No, but I think Canada, when you go when it goes far, far north, like when you stop paying attention, it goes all the way, and I feel like it touches Antarctica, which is not a country, but there's things up there like Greenland, Iceland, and it may touch one of those.
Yeah, the tricky part is it touches Greenland. Is that what you're? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Although I think Greenland's an island, right? It's like a giant island, like.
Okay, let us off the hook.
I'm going 2.
Okay, yeah, Tom. Yeah, you were close. We actually border 3 countries.
Whoa.
Obviously, the United States, which is the world's longest land border at 5,525 miles. Yeah. So, Tom, you mentioned Greenland. So, in Greenland, it's part of there's a part of it that's part of the Kingdom of Denmark. So there's a Canadian crossing right there. So where we touch Greenland, because it's one of the colonies of Denmark, we technically border Denmark. And then off the coast of Newfoundland, there's a little island called Saint-Pierre-Miquelon. It's 25 kilometers 16 miles for you, off the coast of Newfoundland. And it's the last remaining piece of a large French colonial island in North America. It's just 242 square miles. There's only 6,000 people there, but it's France. French license plates. Everybody there speaks France.
No
And
way.
yeah, it's right beside Newfoundland. So we border 3 countries. A lot of people didn't know that. I just wanted to share.
So
That doesn't count.
So I can go to Canada and then I can skeet into Denmark.
No, well, you go to Greenland, which is owned by Denmark, and that doesn't count.
No,
Josh.
he's saying it counts.
No, it's like what's that island like Samoa? Where they're like, it's technically the United States. I'm like, no, it's not.
Right,
I know the United States, and that ain't it. Neither is Puerto Rico.
Oh no! Oh my God!
I'm just saying, even though we own it, I'm like,
next up, Hawaii. This guy's an animal.
I'm like, do they vote for the president? All right,
Yeah, they
don't.
They do. You don't. You're the only person.
Okay.
They vote for the president.
Oh yeah,
You don't
I
vote.
think do they vote? No. All right. What else we got, Josh?
So we were talking about weather, and I was just outside, and I had this high thought when I was home my last days off. When it comes to overall suffering due to weather factors, who do you think suffers more? People in a cold climate like this, or you guys slogging it through 4 or 5 months of oppressive heat, like in terms of overall suffering due to weather factors?
Oh, the cold for sure.
I contend you guys do.
I think
No,
I think more
absolutely not.
people die of extreme heat than die of extreme cold.
No.
Yeah. Heat strokes and people that get out there and just they're in poor health and they're mega obese and the heat gets them, they don't have air conditioning, they die.
Well,
I bet you more people die of heat than of cold.
I would think it would be the opposite. Although because of modern technology that may have changed.
Well, there's not as many people in the cold is what I would go with.
But here's my argument against what you're saying, Josh, is when the cold comes up north, right? You could escape it indoors, so can we with the AC, but it only gets, let's say upper 90s in Florida. And, some days it feels like 108, and everybody, felt it this year, of course, in August. It's insanely hot, and we bitched about it. But with shorts and a T-shirt, it's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? And you can be in the shade. And
I was just arguing with Christine about that. She was saying you can always get warmer. I'm like, no, you can always get cooler.
Yeah. I mean,
I can take off clothing and spray myself with water and walk in a circle, and I'm cooler. I'm cooling myself down. But
you could be in
Colorado,
a pool or a beach.
there were times when you brought me in Colorado to places, and I'm like, I can't get warm here.
Yeah.
I am not going to warm up.
And when it's cold outside, like really cold for long periods of time, I feel like it's way worse than the, let's say, 1 month, August, July, that it's like
I agree with that, but only for me. I think if we were to run the numbers of deaths, I bet heat is your big one.
Now, I will say,
I'd agree with that.
Like, you get into the desert heat and stuff, and that's like a different heat, the sun feels like radiation in certain parts. Even when we went to Tiffany's wedding in Cancun, like because of how they're closer to the equator than we are, and it seemed hotter, way hotter.
I was dying. I was so fat. I'm the officiant. I'm sweating like a big fat pig.
Like,
oh, the cabana, you guys blowing all the money on cabanas, Jesus.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
But I still feel like the cold is way worse than the small like month and a half of heat in Florida, just because you could still get by. Like I could go on my boat, you can go to the beach, you can go to the pool in extreme heat.
Heat never bothers me. It's usually cold that gets me.
And then when it's freezing, unless there's place to snow ski, what else you got out there? You know, like you're,
right.
You know, you're in the middle of Canada, flat. You're in the frozen tundra. I feel like it's way worse. But anyway, I think it's
and as
subjective.
we flesh it out, I guess it's what is your definition of suffering? Like for you to be outside 90 degrees, you wouldn't consider that really struggling with the temperature. And when I was outside just now, bundled up, I wasn't struggling. So I guess it's a spectrum.
And ancient human, like there was a time where you had to prepare for the winter or you will die. Because once winter hits, there's no food.
I'm just going to fiddle like a grasshopper.
No, I'm just saying there's nothing for you to eat and survive when winter comes. Like you have to stay inside or you and then if you don't prepare for it, you just starve to death.
That's a character on one of my favorite shows. There's Extreme Tundra, that old lesbian lady that lives alone, and she's like, I got to get ready for winter.
Yeah.
And she's just chopping and she's just the toughest SOB. Like, and she's chopping her wood and killing the bears and getting everything and packing frozen meat, and she's just ready. And I'm like, man, look at how tough she is. Humans are awesome.
Anything else, Josh?
That's it. Thanks for having me back, guys. I guess I'm back in. Dan, maybe you can find my theme song. Maybe we can do up another one.
I'm not going to look
for it. I'll
for
be on next month doing a. Okay.
I'm too tired.
I'll be on next month doing a. Sorry, buddy. I'll be on next month doing a weird job. I made a bunch of TikTok videos about my adventures up here and when I got up here. So you can follow me on TikTok, Canadian Josh 159.
All right.
All right. Oh, I like that. He even threw a little tip of the hat to us in there. Very cool, man.
Take that, Jimmy, you piece of...
Oh, hey, what are you doing?
Well, Josh, it was good talking to you. We'll talk to you in a little bit for a weird job.
Stay safe, but we know you will be because you're doing nothing.
Love you. Bye.
I love you, too. All right, buddy. Be good. Canadian Josh, live from the back of an ambulance. That's pretty cool, right?
It's weird being in places that humans have lived for. Like, for instance, I experienced this when we went to Moab.
Okay.
Where you're like, we're walking around Moab, and then you're seeing like the Native Americans that live there, right? And they're like, oh, they used to store their food in these cliffs because it's always cold.
Oh, the pantry you were telling me about.
Yeah, food pantry. And then
that's cool.
And then you're looking around at an endless desert, right? There's nothing, right?
Yeah.
There's like there's some pine bushes and like
How
desert.
The hell?
Yeah, you're just like, people lived here. Like,
Yeah.
where did they eat? And then like, oh yeah, there's deer and some other animals, and they and then they were fine. And then you're like, my God, like people will find a way to live in crazy areas that it looks.
A lot of people think Florida's pretty crazy. I mean, at one point, I'm talking about like Everglades. I mean, like.
Yeah, but at least there's a lot of animals and like things and water, and like in the desert or in like the frozen tundra of the Arctic, it's just endless nothing.
Yeah.
It's like there's there's a rabbit, like one rabbit, like okay, like a whole humanity lived here.
Yeah.
Like how do they? Food and water and like where do they get all the supplies? There's nothing here.
Yeah.
Like when you live off
figure it out.
When you live off the land in a forest, you're like you have a giant forest of wood and there's water and animals everywhere. It's like okay, I could see how to make this a home, but like the frozen tundras and the desert, like it's crazy.
Which would you rather live?
Oh, the desert.
I don't know. After seeing I'm obsessed with the tranquility of being alone. Something about, I just like to point this out when it happens.
I guess there's big reindeer and like.
But something about the idea of being cold, because it is quieter when it's cold. This is something that the show has been, like, when the temperature changes in Florida, it seems as if sounds become less, they travel.
They're muted.
They get more muted. And lately around here, when the temperature would take a dip into the 60s, we would all like actively notice, we're like, it sounds different outside. Something about what he was doing in that, ambulance and away from the site, and he's alone in the field, 360, nothing around him, is very calming to me. I look at it, I'm like, I could put myself in that scenario right now, and it calms me down. I don't know what it is.
The most quiet place I've ever been in my life was on the side of Sunlight Mountain, right, in Colorado. We were skiing.
Yeah.
And it was dumping snow all, like, for days. So it was a lot of fresh powder, and there was snow and everything. And it was dumping snow.
Sound, too.
And I remember I was by myself, and, like, Crystal and the boys, like, went on. I was on this trail, and then I was, like, got tired. So I sat down.
Yeah.
And then there was no one else around, and it was snowing, right, which makes it even more quiet because, like, it dampens everything.
Yeah,
and then there's a fresh powder everywhere, and the powder on the trees. It was so quiet. Like, you hear my heartbeat. It's almost like you would hear your blood flow through your brain, like through your ears or whatever. Like you're hearing your body sounds, and you're like, this is crazy. Like, there's no sound. Like, the absence of sound is weird.
Yeah, that's like that room they have that apparently is so insulated and quiet that if you go in it, it'll drive you crazy. But I've always wanted to go into it. I'm like, I won't go crazy. Put me in there. Or if I start to go crazy, if I start to go crazy, just open the door, like, say something.
It can't make me or you more crazy.
Right. Like, if I go in there, like, it's not gonna, like, I'm not gonna start frothing at the mouth and tearing at the walls, right?
No, when they say it makes you go crazy, I think you're just like, I gotta get out of here, and then you just.
But what if I don't? What if I'm like, I love it? You want to? Let's do some voicemails to close out the segment because I already got some loaded.
Let's do it.
I thought this one might tie in. I don't remember taking this one, but it's entitled "Died in the Desert." So, well, here we go.
So clearly I'm listening. Hey guys, clearly I'm listening to back catalog right now, and I heard you guys talking about Tom and Crystal's trip to Moab and everything, and it reminded me how one of my old supervisors died in the middle of the Las Vegas desert because he drove his rental car that was rented through a big carrier into the desert and got stuck, and he passed away, and it was really unfortunate. And he was from he lived in the Central Florida area, actually, so it was like extra sad. But
so wait, this guy
really,
like, so I'm guessing she's not giving me the detail. Let's see.
It just reminded me that it doesn't matter if you rent with a big company. He got stranded out there, like Sam said, no cell service, and died. So
I mean, I would imagine the family's lawsuit, right? I mean, any attorney worth his weight, or his or her,
they don't guarantee that the car will never break down.
No, but they probably would. I don't know. They're going to try and sue, I would imagine. So you're driving in your rental car,
I guess,
and you're like, I want to see the desert, and you drive out there, and then your car breaks down, you check your cell, you don't have any service, and then what, you start walking, and the sun just kills you?
I get,
I mean, so sad.
If you have no water, like, dehydration will get you fast. You could survive for a long time with no food, but water is what gets you quick. And I guess if you have no supplies, and then if you're like, you would have to be a lot of miles away from, because I feel like even...
How far was he out there?
With no water, like, you just wait till night and then follow the road you drove in and just walk all night. And, but I guess, if you're 100 miles into the desert, you're screwed, I guess.
I'm trying to find if there's any update on this.
I think what screws you is, okay, think about this. So you're driving out there in the desert.
Okay.
And your car breaks down.
Am I by myself?
Right? You're by yourself.
What am I dressed like, a sheik?
No, it's just regular
just
tourist.
Me? Okay, all right.
But so I imagine the guy thought to himself, well, the safest thing to do is stay in my car and wait for another car. I'll flag it down. But then if you have no supplies, you're wasting valuable walking time, right?
Right.
So then you stay out there for 24 hours waiting for a car, no car comes, but you're 24 hours dehydrated. So then if you start to walk back, like you've already wasted that 24 hours of time,
Right.
which made you more
Yeah,
dehydrated.
you could have been walking when you were fully like. You know,
The best.
I was gonna instead of saying fully hydrated, I was gonna say you could have started walking when you were wet. That's how stupid I am, Tom. That's what I was going to say.
So I'm sure it's something like that. And then at the last, after days of being out there, although you would think that there aren't many roads in the United States that no cars go by.
Even without water, and even in my crippled state, I think little Danny Denny, I think I could do 3 to 4 days no water in the desert. I think I could.
Well, in a car or walking?
I'd be walking, though.
No,
I would not stay in that car. I would not stay in that car. I got bad hips. I just start walking.
Yeah, but I think that then you think, well, if I start walking, the sun and the desert is going to kill me quicker, and then someone would say, why don't you just stay in the car?
Stay in the hot car, yeah.
Or like,
you open all the
shelters.
doors. You open all the doors and you lay in there.
Yeah, I guess
That's sad. Was he an older man? That might have played in. Yeah, I can't see like a guy, 24-year-old supervisor had this happening. But if you're like a 59-year-old... man that just got a wild hair, and you were curious about the Las Vegas desert. Why drive into the desert? Did he want to die? I got a lot of questions here. A lot of people, if you're miserable, you drive out to the middle of the desert, you take a bunch of pills.
I think everybody, if you've grown up in society and not you're living off the land.
I
or
wish
whatever.
I had grown up with like wolves or like some sort of animal. I was like an animal boy.
I think you get a false sense of security and safety, and you carry that when you go and travel and do things, and that's how people die, is because they just think, I think like this, like, they wouldn't.
I was gonna say
they'd warn me not to drive out and break down because I'll die out there.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
And then it's like you're in a different place. You're not familiar.
This
with
was kind of like you not like wanting to do the the fiery furnace hike without a guide. And I was like, there's probably a reason why they take guides and they give like the tickets. Like there probably is a reason, right? Like why they do that, and they'll just say like, hey, yeah, everybody go, it's open all the time, everybody go crazy, yay.
But if you're, that's why. Well, you got to get a permit, and if you don't come back out, they'll come in and get you.
Right, and that's good. That's why the permit's good.
But it's like you watch. You remember that show, I Shouldn't Be Alive? I remember I saw one on. I think it was a family, or it may have been just one person, but they were cutting through a national park like at the beginning of winter, and they were going through a road that not that many people travel, and usually like a couple days before it's closed for the winter, and a huge blizzard came.
Sure, yeah.
And then snowed the car in the middle of this, like in the road.
I find that something very pleasing about being snowed into a car.
And
to me,
and so they had some food and water inside. They're eating snow, whatever, for days.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, they realized I'm gonna be here until I die if I don't try to save myself.
Right.
And like that person then had to walk out and almost kill them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's like a lot of these things happen where it's like someone's like, oh, I'll make it, and something happens, and then there's nobody going down these roads or whatever.
Well, there's no reason to.
Although it's weird that there's roads in the desert that no one ever travels for days. And there must be, because this guy, it'll take multiple days to die.
It's just huge. It's, you could be anywhere. You know what would be a better show? I Should Be Alive. That's a show.
Hard to tell the story.
Well, you write
about
it. It's fiction. It's all fiction. You write it. You get people to play them.
Yeah.
This is what should have happened. To do like Challenger. What happened?
Yeah.
It should be alive.
You make one mistake, and then you're like, wait, it's not that hard to die. It just takes.
I think about it all the time.
A couple days of no water, or you get yourself in a situation of extreme heat. I mean, me and Crystal were talking about that family that ended up dying with their dog and their kid out in the middle of the desert. And that was another story of like how people are dumbfounded how it happened, and it's just like one thing turns into another, and then you make some bad decisions, and it's like, you forget. It's like you are in a harsh environment that is hard to
Oh,
survive
yeah,
in.
it's
you know?
not. It doesn't forgive or have it. Like,
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
goes hard all the time. There's no.
When the sun's
speed
up, it is
setting, yeah.
beating down on
Exactly.
you, and then the night comes cold.
Yeah.
You know.
Here's a funny one. This is near and dear to my heart, and I'm just glad to see that other people enjoy my favorite thing, which is pizza.
Dan, you said that your dad used to call pizza. My grandma did the exact same thing. She was from New York, though. I remember one time I was a kid, she asked me to go find the Fly Swatters for whatever game we were playing, and I had no idea what it was, so I just walked around in the closet for 15 minutes till I found something that thought was Fly Swatters. Until she found me and said that it was Fly Swatters that I was looking for. But she always called it pizza. And I never understood why I always had pizza every single time I went to their house, why they never cooked. I thought they just ate pizza all the time. Turns out someone told her I didn't like her cooking one time, and she stuck with it and never cooked for me again. It was great. I had pizza every time.
That's a nice grandma. You ate pizza with your grandma. Yeah, my dad couldn't say the word pizza. He called it pizza. And his favorite pizza place was Mano's Pizza in DeLand. And he would get a pepperoni and sausage Mano's pizza. And the way Mano's cut their pizza was very weird. They would cut it all the way across in strips.
Okay.
But they'd cut it in a way where every piece had crust, but some of the pieces would be long strips, like a Tetris piece. You know, it looked like a long
square,
like a long
rectangle
Tetris piece. You know, it was they had these saltiest sausage. My Christ. My mom couldn't eat it because of her heart condition, but my dad could. Then he had a heart attack. But yeah, he loved it. Oh my God, Mano's Pizza.
You know, I was thinking about.
They also had a little person that worked at Mano's Pizza, and my dad didn't like it when the little person waited on him, which is so ironic. You know, to think about it.
Yeah, that's why God gave him a little son.
I know. He's probably no, but I'm still bigger than this guy. You know, but I think my dad didn't put two and two together. He's like, well, I'm still inches over you, buddy. But they had the gondola salad bar. God bless the gondola salad bar, where it looks like a gondola.
Yeah.
And you go up to it. There was a mannequin. This one even had a mannequin in the back of it that made it look like he was pushing it through Venice when you're getting your salad. Oh, God, man. Restaurants are not the same anymore. Kids will not know the treat of like a mom and pop Italian restaurante.
Also, white people's grandparents or at least grandmas are too nice.
You're right.
Because I feel like
you're right.
If that was a black grandma, no way
you're gonna insult her cooking.
You're
gonna eat what I put on it.
Yeah, but that's not gonna change. No. Like if you,
she ain't ordering pizza.
No.
No, you're eating what I made.
Yeah. That's why.
Plus, I don't think you get that far. I don't think any self-respecting. Yeah, you're not going to tell your mama that. No.
Because I often.
Man, I didn't even tell my mama when she made things I didn't like. I was talking about her beef stew earlier. My mom loved vegetable beef stew, stringy beef stew. I hated it. I just wouldn't eat it, you know? Like, I didn't have the heart to tell her that I didn't like it, you know? Like, she's making it. Even then, as a kid, I understood. It was like, she slaved over this, you know? Like, just be nice.
And, like, of course, I love my son's grandmas, but they're way too easy on my sons. I give them everything they want.
Oh, yeah, we got that,
too. The candy, it's a hot, cold, it's water. Like, they serve them like they're a king, you know? You know, and they cater to every need and stuff. I'm like, I need a big black granny to yell at them and hit them with things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, scream.
Don't underestimate a nice Puerto Rican grandma, too. You know, every once in a while you get the sandal.
Yeah, toughen up, white granny.
You're too nice.
Yeah, too nice on your grandson. So whatever, you yell at them every once in a while. And they've never been yelled at by a granny. Anyway, all right, we will see you next week.
That's funny. Well, we got 20 minutes.
Yeah, I need to
stay on Twitch?
Yeah, we can stay on Twitch. We'll talk to Twitch.
I have a couple questions I need to know how to say his name correctly.
I have done no.
You're fine. Where's this go?
Friday 1 and 2.
Did you guys all see C-Lane's baby? It's a super cute baby. Go see his baby.
All babies look the same.
No, sir. I have strong opinions on babies. Chinese babies and black babies are way better looking than white babies.
Yeah, we were talking about minor differences. I'm just saying a baby's a baby. I don't need to go look at it unless it.
Don't go look at it. That's
well,
fine.
I'm just saying, like, who?
You don't have to. I was just suggesting that people go look at this cute baby.
No, but
I like cute things. It brightens up my day, like puppies. I enjoy it. I like to root for people. I like to look at your baby. Yeah, that's the cutest thing I'll see all day.
Are you actually? Do you think it's cute?
I do. Yeah, I actually do.
You know, I understand what.
I don't have a relationship with the baby, but I look at the baby. I'm like, that's a good-looking baby.
But they're all the same, right? No.
Not to me. You don't notice it. I see some really ugly babies. Of
all
course, I'm
just
not
like
gonna comment.
A baby human is
No,
like, all right,
some
this
of
baby,
them
that baby.
Some of them are too red. Some of them, their hands look like squirrel hands. Some of them have weird eyeballs.
We're not talking about deformity.
No. They grow into
baby?
eventually. I'm not talking about deformity. I'm just talking about like their features are too big. Paris Hilton's baby, for instance, that baby was getting so much heat for having a big head. It's mean. Either say the baby's beautiful or don't say anything. You don't need to say the baby's ugly.
Well,
you can think it,
yeah.
but you don't need to say it. Yeah, her baby's got a big head, and then all these people are like, "Is your baby?" And then they're making like really inappropriate comments.
All right. So what's this guy's name?
It is. Did I print that thing for you? Hold on. He's calling us too, and it'll be a phone call. So, do you have your phone? Yeah, you got it.
How's it going, Twitch? I can't see the chat room, but hope you guys are having a good Thursday. God, it seems like the week just started too. A fucking Friday tomorrow.
Al Pitrelli.
And when's the
Al Pitrelli, and December 22nd, they will be at Amway Arena, and December 23rd at the Amalie Arena.
And that's in Tampa?
Yep. Where the Lightning play. With the chat room, they're just trying to clown you, and I can't let them do that. Neo Del Rio says, Tom can't read anything. Suck it, Tom.
The chat wasn't up when Daniel it was blocked by some.
Yeah, it might have been scrolled down. Sorry.
I still can't.
Al Pitrelli played for Megadeth for a bit. Yeah, he did. We're going to talk about that.
Well, I need to do my research.
Because he talks about how Dave Mustaine, he doesn't say it, he said it was just that Dave Mustaine sets very, very high level of like, hey, you need to know all the nuances of every single solo on the record, and it's pretty cool. They $1 from every ticket goes to charity, and they've always done that. He's the guitarist and musical director. Everything has been created by musician and writer Paul O'Neill. I don't really know that much about this guy. I figured we'd just do a sort of a standard.
Can I see how to spell his name here?
It is here. Take this. anything? He was in the band Savatage, too. I remember Savatage. It does sort of seem like a lot of bands don't want to perform in Orlando, which is weird. Here's a fun fact for you, Tom. In 1998, Pitrelli was featured on the video game album Sonic Adventure Remix, where he played guitar on a remix of the game's theme song, Open Your Heart.
All right.
That's funny. That's what Kupo J says. Sonic soundtracks always go hard. I remember always liking the Sonic music. No, Savatage, not Sabotage. Savatage. He was in a band called Morning Wood. Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins together? Ugh. Not a mix I would be into.
Oh, so he's a musical director.
Yeah, he's the guitar player and musical director. I want to ask him what that means. Is he directing the band or cueing them or... He said when he was a kid that his family would always watch The Godfather for Christmas, which I found to be pretty funny. Italian family, obviously. When they first started, it was like a box truck and all their gear and a fog machine, and now they're up to 22 18-wheelers and 2 people buses.
Goddamn.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts. It's interesting. He has kids. He has 2 daughters and 3 sons. And one of the sons is in the Coast Guard, one of his sons is in the Navy, and one of his sons is a Brooklyn-based bass player. So out of all of his sons, only one of them is a musician, and the other 2 are military. That's pretty cool. His first major label gig was performing with Michael Bolton. A lot of people don't remember that Michael Bolton, when he first came out, like he was like a hard rock singer, like a not a metal guy, but close. He wasn't a ladies' man type singer. Oh, my dad used to love Michael Bolton. Blackjack. Oh, that was the name of his band? That's cool. Yeah, I remember my dad liked how can we be lovers if we can't be friends? How can we start over when the fighting never ends? Oh, baby, how can we make love when we can't make amends? That song? My turn. He's calling us.
Mm.
The other one was Soul Provider. That was a good song. No, we didn't, EJ. It wasn't a lot of P, Kupo J. It was a straight in, little bit of P, straight out. Jonathan says, Tom, who do you have tonight for Thursday Night Football?
I'm staying away from this game. Justin Fields
Stinks.
is out. No, he's not playing tonight. The old arm wrestler dad, what's his face? But if I had to pick a side, I'd actually take the Panthers plus the 3.5. Just because I'm not gonna take the Bears minus 3.5 in any scenario. But the Panthers look like garbage, and it makes me laugh every time someone's like, oh, what this team needs to do is they need to tank so they can get the number 1 pick and reorganize their start fresh. And then I'm just like, well, Bryce Young was the number 1 pick, and the Panthers traded for that pick.
Right.
Traded the Bears, their number 1 pick for that, and he does not look that good. Now I understand their offensive line is bad, and they need a lot of pieces, but he looks undersized, and C.J. Stroud has arguably, obviously, played the best out of any rookie QB this season, and he's setting records, and you could have easily taken him. But no one knows, and that's why it's like it's such a, there's so many unknowns that it's like getting the number one pick doesn't guarantee you much of anything,
I don't think it guarantees you nothing.
Unless it's some sort of generational talent, and then it still takes a while. I mean, look at the fucking Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. Like everybody was excited about them this year. They haven't.
It's not moving as quickly as people want.
Yeah, and that just takes time.
Yeah.
But I would take the Panthers plus 3.5.
I mean,
I'm staying away from.
But there are still quarterbacks that are young, that are in, out, that are still developing that we don't even know.
Yeah.
Tons of them. But don't you dare tell me it's Ritter. No one tell me that, because that's not true. He's not our guy.
What the hell's the guy's name?
Oh, we got to do that cameo today. Don't let me forget.
Okay.
Dia Ritter. Haven't heard that, Ghost. That's funny.
Although I heard an interesting
Right. No, Jay's right. They're not all first-round picks. He's right. Yeah, so when you see them develop, it's fine. First rounds typically I would say more of them aren't. That's him.
Right.
Most of them don't develop, do they? Yeah. More than 50% don't.
Hello, Al. Hey, this is Tom Dan. I'll put you on hold, and we'll start the interview real quick. Yep, thank you. Hold on 1 second. Line 1.
It's not going to work, is it? Nope. Hey, Al, can you hear us okay?
It's a little low. Can you turn up a little bit, please?
Yeah. I'll pump it up a little bit. Is that any better at all?
Not really.
Okay. Well, we might just have to roll with it and do our best. I apologize.
No, I'll do my best. No worries at all.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. On the line with us right now, the musical director for the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah. This is like super duper cool, and like I didn't know when we started deep diving how rich this man's musical legacy is.
Yeah, on the line with us, Al Pitrelli. How you doing, Al?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on today, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Oh,
yeah,
man,
no problem.
We certainly do appreciate it. When we were deep diving into what you do as musical director, guitarist for Trans-Siberian Orchestra, I had no idea. I knew the name, and I'm like, wait a minute. Why do I know the name? And then I forgot that you had played in Megadeth.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started watching more and more of these interviews about like what you've done in your career. So how does a guy, because on one hand you have Megadeth, on another hand you have TSO. I mean, both super successful, amazing bands, but I would say like they're similar but not similar. How did you get involved in doing what is the massive,
I go with Megadeth to Christmas.
Yeah, it's like how do you get to like, but because like TSO is basically the way Tom and I describe what you do. It's like wizard metal rock for Christmas, and it's a hell of a show. So how did you get wrapped up in that? And I know you've been doing this for forever, but how did it start? How did you become like a Christmas music machine?
Oh my God! Well, you got to go back. It's 28 years ago. I had a very, very good friend of mine, fantastic record producer and songwriter named Paul O'Neill.
Yeah.
And he called me up out of the blue in '95, and he said, "Listen, I'm working on this project. Would you come in the studio, put ears on, and maybe help me out a little bit?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So I went to the studio, and he put the faders up on what was to become the song "Christmas Eve, Sarajevo, 1224."
Yeah.
And I kind of looked at him cockeyed. I was like, "Dude, what's with the Christmas song?" And he laughed. He said, "It's not really a Christmas song. It's a soundtrack depicting events that took place on Christmas Eve in the war in Sarajevo." I said, "All right, you got my attention. Explain." And he told me about this classical musician who would take his cello to the town square and play, themes from, Mozart, Chopin, Beethoven in protest to the bombing raids. And as he's telling me this story, the hair on my arm kind of stood up. Because I was Alice Cooper's musical director in 89 and 90, and I played in Zagreb and Belgrade before the war.
Yeah.
And I said, I know exactly the town square you're talking about, press record. And that's when I started playing those opening notes, that kind of haunting theme.
Yeah.
To support God Rest You Merry Gentlemen being played by the cello. And he looked at me and goes, that's exactly what I was looking for. And we finished the track, and I said, listen, this was fantastic. I love it. He goes, well, you want to stick around and make some more music together? I'm like, absolutely. Then you fast forward, that's about February 95 in here. We roll into like mid-November of 95, and it got in the hands of a couple DJs, and literally, guys, overnight it became like the #1 requested song in America.
Yeah.
You know, nobody had ever heard anything like that.
I mean, as
before.
it sits right now, let me throw this fun fact out there. As it sits right now, it's the 7th most downloaded Christmas song of all time.
That's
Isn't
crazy.
that incredible?
Yeah, and it's probably going to go higher. You know, like, I mean, it's like one of those things where 7th most of all Christmas music. It's the song. It's in the top 10. That's insanity. How many times do you think you've played that song? How many times, if you had to guess? I mean, you've played it probably a million times. Like, you can't even count.
We're getting close, probably.
Yeah. And then like, tell me a little bit about how, when you guys were just doing the stage show, because it's one thing to produce the music, which is so powerful and so, so invoking of the Christmas spirit. But like, is this correct that now you guys tour with 22 18-wheelers and 2 full buses of humans?
We got 22 tractor trailers, 12 buses.
12, I was wrong.
To accommodate the band and the crew.
I was way wrong.
Wow.
Yeah,
I was
there's
10
a lot of
buses
people.
off.
But you got to understand, listen to me, it's grown up. You know, we did our first tour in 99, and I think there was 7 cities on the itinerary and 10 shows. And we had one 24-foot box truck, a fog machine, and 2 buses. And we thought we were cool as all get out then.
Yeah.
And if you look at the last 24 years of touring, it's grown up like one of your children grown.
Sure.
You know, but exceeded all my expectations. And Paul would put everything back into the show. He wanted to put on the biggest rock and roll production ever, and that's what we try to do and make it bigger and better every year.
What's the hardest part? Like, you're musical director, so are you up there not only playing solos, are you up there also like conducting, cueing musicians, bringing in parts, or how does that work?
No, the band has been together for about 20 years, so, you know, I used to do a lot of that, but they're so good that, you know, everybody's been doing their homework all summer long. Then we moved to Omaha, Nebraska, which that's where I'm calling you guys from now to do production rehearsals.
Nice.
You know, my job primarily is to, like, make sure or keep my eyes open for something to go wrong.
Gotcha.
I'm always anticipating a headache because I never want the audience to notice anything went sideways.
Interesting.
So Trans-Siberian Orchestra is going to be at the Amway December 22nd, then in Tampa on the 23rd. So when do you guys start the tour? Because, you know, you're such a famous Christmas style band.
You're the Christmas rock band.
Although it's more than just Christmas, though. But anyway, like, so do you guys start in November? When
That's a
is
good question.
You know, and when does it end?
Well, usually we finish up the day before Christmas Eve, and then we go home to our families and spend a couple weeks just catching our breath. And by mid-January, we're already putting pencil to paper to figure out, okay, how are we going to make next year bigger? You know, it really is a year-round project, because what would break my heart is if, you know, there's a bunch of people who come back year after year. I affectionately refer to them as our repeat offenders.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what would break my heart is if any one of them ever said, yeah, it was okay, dude, but last year was better. It's not going to happen on our watch.
Yeah.
You know? So all year long, we're kind of scratching our heads saying, okay, musically, what can we do we haven't done? How can we make the story even speak clearer? What kind of production things can we put together that nobody's ever seen before? And, you know, I want this thing to last. You know, Paul O'Neill, who created this thing, he always would say to me, I want this thing to live long past all of us, you know. And by making it better every year, I think it's got a good shot at attracting, you know, new audience members every year.
Yeah, a lot of people use it as, and I know a lot of, like, we luck out because we get, you know, the 22nd at Amway Arena here in town, right, December 22nd.
Yeah.
You can't get any better than that. The 23rd in Tampa at the MLA. But, like, that, I know some people here in town that use you guys and TSO as, like, their tradition, right? Is it true that your family would watch The Godfather every Christmas? Is that true?
Yeah, every Christmas Eve. Listen, I grew up Italian, Long Island, and I just remember later as the evening progressed, somebody, they'd play The Godfather on the network, whatever network it was back in that day, and everybody would walk through, and then that's just became kind of what I got used to.
Did you
guys
guys
eat?
Did you guys eat like
tradition.
pasta and stuff? Like do you do like Italian Christmas where you have like meatballs and stuff like that?
All night long.
Oh, that sounds amazing, man.
I think Godfather's my Christmas movie.
I love that. That's fantastic, man.
So, Al, I'm curious, like, when do you guys start the tour? Because I imagine you only have a certain time frame.
Yeah.
I mean,
is it just November, December, or?
Yeah, we're going to hit our first downbeat next Wednesday, the 15th, I think it is, in Council Bluffs, Iowa. And, we're running the show twice a day, every day for the last couple weeks, and I got another week to go. Because I want the 15th of November in Council Bluffs to be a perfect first show.
Sure.
Okay, now when I see you guys, that may be my 45th show.
Right.
But it'll be your first show, and it's got to be a perfect first show for you as well.
That's awesome.
Also, do you laugh when because it has to be the number one, the number one music played for when someone synchronizes their Christmas lights.
Yeah, that's you
to
guys.
music. It's always Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Absolutely.
And
Always.
When did you see that start happening? And do you? I mean, of course, I would assume that you like that, but also it's like what's your feeling on it?
Well, so Paul O'Neill back in the day was talking to the lighting designers, and he said, in this song "Wizards of Winter," I want all the lasers and the lights and the pyro to be choreographed to the guitar solo or the violin solo. And they're like, "No, Paul, that's too fast. We can't do that." He goes, "Really?" And he popped out whatever laptop he had at the time, and there was a video of some guy in Ohio who he had a staple gun and a ladder from Home Depot, and he did exactly what Paul wanted. Every light on this guy's house was perfectly synced up. And he looked at the crew and goes, "You telling me you can't do this?" They're like, "Never mind, boss, we'll get on it."
Yeah.
And then somehow the video went viral. I think, Miller Beer, Miller Lite Beer, picked it up for a TV spot. And then next thing you know, entire communities are like syncing their lights up. This is the stuff I can't think this stuff up. You couldn't market this. You couldn't plan this if your life depended on it. It was as organic as a growth over 28 years as anything I've ever seen. And that just means that people really love it. Not jamming it down somebody's throat. People are taking initiative to listen. Elon Musk programmed his car, the Tesla, to put on the headlights and the blinkers to the song.
Yeah, I have that in my car right now. Yeah, I have you driving
around.
Yeah,
it's crazy, dude. It's so much fun, and I'm so proud of what it's become.
Yeah, and it's like
awesome.
I feel like more than I don't know if this resonates with you, but it's one thing to play in like Savatage and Megadeth and all these bands and TSO, and you're playing all this stuff, but the TSO stuff is almost like ingrained in our DNA, right? Like it's almost like it's bigger than even music because now you're part of Christmas, and Christmas is extremely important. So you've it's like you cemented your legacy, man. Well done.
Well, thank you. You listen, 3 decades we're approaching,
That's awesome.
And people will tell me, it's such a huge responsibility when, and it's such a huge compliment when somebody says, "Hey, it's not the holidays till you guys come through town," or "We'll play your music in our homes from Thanksgiving until New Year's." I didn't see that one on the horizon.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of it. I mean, when I was a kid, it was, Nat King Cole and Bing Crosby.
Sure.
And, Donny Hathaway, all those great songs are always being played in the house. Now to know that people are enjoying the music that Paul O'Neill put together and the stories that he'd written, and they're playing that, it's the most wonderful thing anybody could ever tell me, and I appreciate you guys bringing it up because it's become everybody's tradition, mine included.
Well, let's finish with this because this is one of the best parts about Trans-Siberian Orchestra, what they do, Paul, what you do, is that $1 from every ticket goes back into like a charitable aspect, something in the community, and you guys have always done this, right?
From day one, the first show we ever played was in the Tower Theater, or at the Tower Theater in Philadelphia. And Paul and his family, it was paramount to them to give back to the communities. So $1 from every ticket we've sold forever has gone back into the community.
That's a lot.
$1 doesn't sound like a lot of money, but I think somebody told me we've sold 18 million tickets in the last 20-something years.
Yeah,
so.
there you go.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. If you go worldwide and you go globally and then you go, every show they've done for 40-plus years, it's like, It's amazing. The 1%. You know, we have a good friend of ours that says 1% at a time, 1% better. Yeah, it doesn't take much. It adds up.
Yeah, no joke. And I'm proud of the O'Neills because they didn't talk about doing something. They actually did do something. And I'm just so proud to be part of an organization that does that.
That's awesome.
Al, all the members of the band, it seems like you guys have been together for a long period of time. It doesn't seem like there's much turnaround or turnover. Is that true? Like, everybody's been there for a while?
Yeah, like new guys.
Yeah, most everybody's been with me, for 20-something years now. Because it's a band, it's I'll be in an orchestra, it's a big band, whatever. But there's a chemistry in live music that you can't really put your finger on why it sounds so good. You just put a bunch of talented people in a room that are even, like individually, everybody in this band is incredible, but collectively they're even better.
Yeah.
And I'm not changing it. If it ain't broke, I'm not breaking it. They're awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Al, I'm curious, too, how you even get, when you're writing a new song, or what adds a Christmas feeling to this music? Because when people hear Trans-Siberian Orchestra now, it immediately resonates as like, oh, it's the holidays.
Oh yeah, first note in, you're like, oh, I'm in a winter wonderland.
But what is that? What is the psychology behind that?
That was pretty much all Paul O'Neill. Again, there was a wonderful quote I read. I've been reading this Leonard Bernstein biography, and he said, a great artist will create art that's acceptable to all, but never ordinary. And I would have to use that quote regarding Paul because his themes, his concept of music, the way he delivered it was so acceptable, to the audience listening, but none of it's ordinary. He just had a knack for creating soundtracks like he was scoring a film in his mind. He would write a story and then just write characters into the story and develop the melodies. As a melodist, as a harmonist, as a lyricist, he just had a way of doing that so beautifully, because they're really complicated. But everybody gets it. It's the craziest thing ever.
It does seem insanely complicated. Like, how is everybody knowing what to do? This is so much going on.
Also, to come up with something new every single year, but also be locked into Christmas, not as easy as saying, hey, let's just write any brand of music we want. You guys are...
Oh, no, because people are trying to do it all the time. He nailed the formula.
Yeah.
Whatever that formula is, he had it.
He knows how to do
it. Like Walt Disney.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Al, throughout 3 decades, have you ever thought about expanding into Halloween or in other holidays? Like, maybe can we pull off a Halloween? Like
a Thanksgiving.
Well, just like
no. We've done spring tours. We've done European tours. We had a fabulous record that we recorded years ago called Beethoven's Last Night, which was a story about the great composer, and we had a lot of fun touring with that. But, this holiday tour has gotten so huge, like I had said earlier, it's become a year-round project to put it together. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something different one day. I have no idea. But right now, the task at hand is to, make everybody in Orlando go, oh, my God, it was better this year.
Yeah.
And then after the new year, we'll figure something out.
And if you're thinking about going December 22nd at our beautiful Amway Arena, you guys will all be here. TSO coming to town. And then again, December 22nd at Amway Arena in Tampa. Al, thank you so much for the time, man. We appreciate you chatting with us.
Oh, guys, I've enjoyed our conversation. Have a wonderful holiday and stay safe. I'll talk to you next time.
You as well, man. Merry Christmas. Take care. See you.
Back at you. Bye-bye now.
That's very nice. Very cool guy.
Also,
a lot of guitar players from New York.
Yeah. Also, super smart guys that are guitarists for death metal bands.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
It is a stereotype.
Yeah.
We've talked to a lot of guitarists. They'll be in metal bands. They'll be from New York. Like, hey, how you doing? And they're brilliant.
Yeah. Well, I think you need to be smart to be a super
a mega guitarist.
Good guitarist for a metal band because
math.
it's very hard and there's math involved and a lot of difficulty.
Yeah.
But man, it's funny.
Are you a TSO guy?
Well, of course. When you hear Trans-Siberian Orchestra,
let's play the
holiday.
Okay,
music,
here's the first one. We got a little time here, so we can do this. Here's the first one that he said. This is the one that broke them. Christmas Eve, Sarajevo, 1224. That's the part he's playing on the guitar.
It's so non-traditional Christmas that it's,
Well, this part, you're like, oh, this is regular Christmas music, but it's not. It'll go into this, hold on, I'll cut to the chase. There we go.
Yeah.
It's the Lexus holiday event. Yeah, I'll freak you all out.
Oh, how you got that Lexus money? Oh, rich.
The Lexus holiday event is going on now. 8.9 APR. Like, they do all this.
Yeah. God, that's a question.
And then they always have the Lexus inside with the bow on it. I'm like, how the hell did you get that inside the house? How'd you get the car inside? How are you going to get it out?
Yeah. Also,
how'd you do that at night while they were asleep?
When the rich wife comes out of her mansion and then sees the Lexus,
she's like, "Oh," she's shook.
Like,
I'm like, that's not even that great.
yeah. Like,
you got a mansion.
I'm like, that rich lady is not that excited about the Lexus.
It's a 300 series. What were they? The 3,000, 300s? It's an entry level. You buy the lady a BMW 3 Series?
Yeah.
That's a $50,000 hunk of S. Give me the 90K. Give me the 120. Give me the Model X. Give me an X6.
I wonder how many companies have purchased their music for commercial use. That's the one question I forgot to ask.
It didn't list it, but inside...
It's got to be an insane amount.
It's an insane amount, yeah.
And it's like, it's so weird. You fall into this niche, and then it's like, oh, you prepare all year to do these arena tours, and you're doing, I don't know how many they do from like, he said he starts next week till right before Christmas. And then does he go on further than that? Like
no, I think they stop.
They stop right before Christmas, right?
I believe it's literally
Tampa's their last stop.
Tampa's the last stop.
Yeah,
so you got second to last is us.
Yeah.
Last stop is Tampa. I think a lot of the guys, including Paul.
And then you start working on next year.
I think Paul is located. I think he may have a place here in Orlando because I know he's friends with the Monsters.
Mm.
So I think he might be a local dude because I know he's done a lot of charity work around here.
Huh.
But for some reason they like Florida. I don't know if it's just fun to end your tour in a nice sunny place where it's like getting cooler. It's not bad.
Yeah.
The weather today is, I'd rather be outside right now. It's freaking awesome.
Well, if you're, as winter sets in, you want to be heading towards south, right? So like at least you end at the warmest place possible.
What's the song he was talking about that they do? The Wizard, what is it? Wizarding Wizards or Wizards in Winter?
All right.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
This is another Lexus driver. I think Lexus has used these guys for it.
It's the Lexus holiday event. That's a good tune.
But
it's good.
I'm surprised. Some other bands have tried to mimic this, right? Or no? I haven't heard of it.
Okay, there's two main holiday bands that I knew of as a boy. Because my mother, Carol Dennis, loved the holiday bands. Big TSO lady.
Okay.
I mean, I would have had to have... I've only seen TSO with my mom once. She loved it. I think she cried. But there are two. One is Trans-Siberian Orchestra. The other is Mannheim Steamroller.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
I think Mannheim Steamroller is more... I don't think Mannheim... What's the difference?
Are they like a knockoff?
No, I think they're different. I think Trans-Siberian is the metal, and Mannheim Steamroller is more like nerd. Here's some Mannheim Steamroller, just to compare.
Oh, they're knocking off.
This isn't metal. I think Mannheim Steamroller is more just like normal. No, this is kind of like TSO.
That's kind of like instrumental, more. There's less electric guitar though.
Somebody needs to tell me the difference between. I think maybe TSO is more rock based and Mannheim is more like keyboard based.
Yeah, keyboard. Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, they show the guy for Mannheim Steamroller. It looks like Don Johnson in like he's like playing like some sort of weird electric drum kit with a gong behind him.
But there's a reason why they named it.
Ooh, Mannheim Steamroller has done Halloween. They went for it. You probably rubbed a sore subject with Al when you brought that up. He was probably thinking Mannheim. He's like, this mother effer's going to bring up Mannheim. Because they've done a safari. They've done a couple of Halloweens.
Oh, they went all.
Yeah,
the
they
holidays.
went. They did all of them. They did a. Oh, they did a. What do you call it? Valentine's Day. They did a Thanksgiving. They did a Thanksgiving.
What
they
would
did
be
the
Thanksgiving
Valentine's
music?
Day.
Hold
I
on,
don't know. I'll
click
play
on-
it. It's a turkey on the cover.
What's because I feel like Thanksgiving doesn't really have a music associated
some
with it,
of
right?
their-
Like Thanksgiving has the
I don't know.
NFL football.
This is pretty Thanksgiving-y.
This is like
No, that's the Indians and Pilgrims eating.
no.
I would eat turkey to
No,
this.
no.
I'm going to play
is
this for
not
my family.
Thanksgiving.
This is Thanksgiving right here, buddy.
No,
Oh, this is so Thanksgiving.
this is like medieval fair.
It might be a
music.
little bit even fair. Yeah, you might be right. I'm trying to squish it in there. Okay,
Yeah,
that's from their
yeah,
Thanksgiving
that's
album. You want to
medieval
hear some of
fair,
their Halloween?
Okay.
We should be playing TSO, but we're not. We're playing Mannheim Steamroller. This is from their album. This is Mannheim Steamroller Halloween Sweet Tooth, and this one's called Rock and Roll Graveyard.
Okay, well, it's easy to know.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's going for it.
I feel like Halloween music is easy to do.
Yeah, I just need an organ.
Yeah, anything organ. If you were going to play Easter music, what would it even sound like?
Like chirping birds.
Type in Easter music and see
Easter
what even comes up. Like, because I have no idea. Because, okay, like Christmas music, everybody has an idea. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Easter.
There's a whole playlist called Easter Music.
What is it? I wonder what it
I don't
even
know.
is.
This one's called Easter Parade by Bing Crosby.
All right.
Oh, this is the kind of music I like. I love
But
old
this
band
is
music.
Christmas again.
No, this isn't Christmas.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
going to church.
This is like a classic movie.
I love it. This is what I
music.
like. This is what I like. This is the sound I like. This is what plays in my head.
This is not
Hold
Easter,
on,
though.
hold on.
In your Easter bonnet, with all the frills upon it.
Oh, yeah. In your Easter bonnet,
All right, what's the- do they have-
with all the thrills upon it.
Do they have any current Easter music?
I've got Peter Cottontail by Gene Autry.
All
That's,
right.
I think
Oh,
that
so
one-
it's just about rabbits.
Oh, that's Easter. Dude, that's Easter. Nailed it.
This is like a cartoon.
Here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down
No,
the
it was
bunny
garbage.
trail.
That's how I think you sing in real life. Like, here comes Peter Cottontail, hopping down the
No.
bunny trail.
This is goofy. This is
I
goofy.
like old men music. I'm transitioning to full old man. By the time
You listen to Bing Crosby.
Listen to Bing Crosby. I do like that. I made no bones about saying that. Like the chat room was asking me, do you like TSO? And I had to be honest with them and tell them I don't dislike them. It's great music. I just don't like I don't like new Christmas music. I like holiday tradition. I like traditional. There's a channel on Sirius XM that I think they got it right. It's called Holiday Traditions.
Oh.
And Holiday Traditions plays like your Bing Crosby, your Nat King Cole, Johnny Mathis, the Lemon Sisters. I like very Lawrence Welky style Christmas. In fact, last night Andrea goes, "Hey, the Lawrence Welk Thanksgiving special will be on next week." And I said, "Do you want to have a party and invite our friends over and we'll all dress like Lawrence Welk and hang out and have a little party and we'll all watch it together and goof on it because it's funny."
I'm not joking. The only other person that I knew that enjoyed Lawrence Welk was Crystal's granddad,
Love it.
who was
He's a good
99
man. He's a
years
good
old when he
man.
passed away.
He's a good. You know what that man was? A patriot.
He was
He's a patriot like me.
He was, but he was, I mean, in his 90s, and he's like, turn on Lawrence
He had
Welk.
good taste. He's a good American. He's a goddamn good American patriot.
And then we watch it.
Yeah,
in
it's
their,
great.
You know, in their condo in
It was
Marco
real.
Island.
They leave the best part about Lawrence Welk is they leave the mistakes in. It's live performances, guys. You don't get that anymore. Name something live. Name something live. There's nothing live anymore. Even any TikTok you watch where the guy's dressed like a black grandma and he's like doing a skit, he's filmed that 100 times. On Lawrence Welk, they had one shot. They pushed that guy out there. They got Joanne Castle playing an upright honky-tonk piano. She has one shot at that solo. One shot. All on live TV.
All right. We will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. All right.
And we'll just put that for Monday 3.
Yeah, it was good. He's
I'm
very
sorry,
nice.
Monday 4.
Monday 4. All right, guys. I think we're done, right?
Yeah, we're done.
All right, we're done. I'm going to therapy.